All right, I'm a hunter, okay? I mean, I sit out in the woods a lot, and I don't get to shoot my bow as much as I'd want, at least at the targets I would like to shoot them at. But what I do need to do even before that is practice. Now, in all honesty, because people watch this that know me, I use a crossbow a lot now, but I still like shooting a compound bow, and my son has started shooting and my daughter likes shooting as well. So we need somewhere to practice. We just practice in the backyard. Yes, we make sure there's everything safe behind us, but there's nothing worse than shooting your arrows and then you need to set your bow down. And I do not like having to set the bow, sit it in the grass, drop it on the ground or whatever. So I want to make a stand to hold this thing up. So let's see what we can come up with as a solution, something better than just dropping the bow on the ground, because that's not how we take care of things. And even though my shop is a mess, I do want to take care of things and use them properly, especially something like a bow. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Make something to hold it up and hopefully hold the arrows too. Because that's nothing worse than trying, we don't Robin Hood it through the back, you know, we just grab one. So let's get after it. I'm going to just draw it out roughly here on my workbench. I want something about 3 foot tall because 3 foot seems like a good measurement. And I want to have it stable. That'd be key. 3 foot tall, not to scale. If you know anything about blueprints, NTS on a blueprint, not to scale. But that's all right. And maybe I'll decorate or just cut that edge a little tighter. And then I'm going to put something down here at the bottom, maybe to keep it off the ground so that it'll help, little feet to help balance it. Boy, this drawing is not looking the best for reasons. Then I'm going to put something in here up top to hang the bow on. And maybe I want something down here. Maybe it'll be running, the bow circle thing might be running this direction. And then up here, I'm gonna have something to hold the arrows, can kind of sit in here. I don't know. What do you think? That's enough to work off of. Yeah, perfect. That's what we're gonna, thing I gotta do is get out, my JP Media workbench. Now we're getting somewhere. There will be a day I'll use this for its intended purpose, but right now, just a pretty sweet workbench. Get ready, get going. These pieces, I will put up a parts list here, but basically I'm just going to start out by cutting all the parts, and once that's done, we're just, all we got to do is screw them together. So let's get just to decorate some of these pieces just a little bit. Just make them a little easier on the eyeball. My last episode, video, whatever, movie, I had some PVC left over, so I'm going to use this stuff. That's why I save things. Cut them out. That last one, it's still 1.5 inches. Beautiful. Maybe a 30-second under. Real carpenters better not open your mouths about it. Clean the man glitter off your table. Doesn't taste good. Just clean it off. We got work to do. Good enough. We're cleaned off, we're ready to go. First thing we're gonna do is take our 17-inch pieces and find the center. Fast math, what is it? 8.5. And rather than mark both, I'm just gonna draw a pencil line using a speed square. You can measure both, that's fine. I don't care how you do it. And I'm gonna take this, one of these, and you know what? I'm gonna draw a line down the center here. As a matter of fact, I might even, because that's where my screws are gonna go, and I'm gonna make a mark 3/4 inch over. If anybody knows why, that'd be because our 2x4s are 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inches divided by 2 is 3/4 inch. We'll put an X because that's the side I want that'll be the side of my 2x4. It'll be easier to line that up. The center line is still important because the center line is going to help me know where to put my screws. Now, as far as screws go, oh, lost my pencil. As far as screws go, use whatever you've got. I happen to have these sitting in the cupboard, or I say cupboard, but it's in my garage. Some trim head screws, 2.5 inch trim head screws. Use whatever's gonna work for screwing through a 2x4 into another 2x4. This isn't a structural engineering situation. Use whatever screws you got. Use nails for that matter. Nails would work fine. But I've got my center marks here, and I've got my edge mark. And the reason I want my edge mark is it's gonna help me to line up my 2x4 so I can get this screwed in like so. That's gonna be the key. That's the start of our bow hanger. So that's where we're at right now. Let's get this. I'm gonna get started by getting some screws going on my center line. I'm just doing 2 per. The shaft's a little wobbly. This is a little overkill, a little long. No jokes. But we're gonna just get it started. And by we're, I mean I'm just gonna get it started right on that center line. Again, this isn't holding up the world. We're just doing a little bow hanger. I got knots in this board, so I wanna avoid going into the knot. See, that's why. It wants to run on an angle. I gotta move it. We're not doing trim carpentry here. All right, we're ready to get going. Let's screw this thing together. Because I made my X on the one side, I know that the edge, I don't know if you can even see that, the edge of the 2x4 is gonna sit right there. I've already got my screws in, so I'm gonna run this top one. Boom, we're done. That's screwed. Now, just to be extra safe, I know this workbench is perfectly flat, and I'm gonna get my square in there just to make sure it's straight up and down. Once that's in, send that next screw. We're nice and tight. We can do the same on the other side. Nothing left to do there, but send them. A little extra spin. These screws are not the best to use for this, but okay. Next, I have a couple pieces. I think they're these ones. Yes. Look at that. That are gonna sit right like that. We're gonna take these and we're gonna screw them in place. These ones I'm gonna put flush with the bottom. And I'm gonna start on this outside. Right down. 1. And we're gonna do 2 screws into that. Just making sure everything's flush. Looks good, feels good. Okay. It bounces, but that's because I got no screws on that other part yet. We're gonna do the same thing on this side. We're gonna slide our piece in. It's a nice tight fit, that's what we like. If it ain't tight, it ain't right. Somebody told me that. I don't know. It sounds good. Rhymes always work. Screw this thing together. 1, 2 screws. Flip it over. Do the same thing on this side. There we go. We're getting somewhere. Starting to look like something now. Now, I'm gonna take my 20-inch piece make a mark at 10 inches. 10 inches is half of 20. And then I'm also gonna make a mark halfway through our 3.5 2x4. That would be 1 inch and 7/8. No. It would be 1 3/4 inches. Be 1 3/4 inches. Math can be hard. I've got those marks there. Now I can line up this, and I know that it's centered on our piece, and then just screw it together. I've got marks. Those are lined up. Let's screw this thing together. And then we'll end up doing the same thing for the other side. 2 screws in each location. We're going into end grain, so it's not getting the best grab, but that's okay. All right, got the other side. Now I know what you're thinking. That wood looks warped, and it is. It's 2x4s that were left over. Good news is this is probably going to be sitting in the grass, and so it's not that terrible of a problem. But we're getting somewhere. It's starting to look like it might be something, right? It's starting to come together. Let's get the rest of it. This will all make sense later. But let's cut a couple pieces to 1.5 inches. You'll find out. I got this fancy table that cuts stuff too with a blade in the middle of it. If I can turn it on. Contact. Inch and a half. 15.5 inches up. That seems good enough. Oh, if you can hold your tape measure straight. 15.5. We're gonna make that the bottom, which would put 17 inches being the top. That's gonna be this place. Make a mark on your piece with an X, the side where the 2x4 goes. That'll help things move along and work. You can clamp it to it. Again, I'm not looking to get too crazy with this. It's not precision carpentry. I'm making a bow hanger for out in the yard. Pretty at the end. If you can hold it with your hand, that works a little better. There's one. Take your speed square. Again, we're gonna set this, make sure we're sitting nice and square, and get a second screw in here. I don't know if I'm in your way. A lot of rattling. Let's do the same thing to the other side. Boom. I like it. Next part, we're gonna take our 6-inch piece, slide it between our 1x pieces. It's nice and tight. What are we talking about? Ain't tight, ain't right. This one we're just gonna put flush. Everything's not perfect. We're nice and flush there. Once you get that happening, sink the screws. I cut those 1.5 inch rips of the plastic in half. Those are going to be our feet. I'm just going to hold them flush and put some screws in there. Next thing we need is a couple holes. I happen to have this 2-inch, 2-inch is good enough, hole saw. Made a couple centerline marks. Let's cut it out. One side. Don't smoke. Once you have that, we'll make a center mark. I'm thinking somewhere around here, 3/4 of an inch. And I'm gonna go with this as my height. Why not? Take your speed square, get your line, and we're gonna transfer our line over and all the way around to the other side, because we're not gonna be able to get this thing all in one shot. Then I'm gonna make a center line mark over here, hard to see on that. On the back side, 3/4 of an inch. Okay, looking good. I'm gonna start drilling. It's not perfect, but that's what we want to happen. Got the hole drilled, and I just happen to have this chunk of a broom handle. It's not this chunk, I cut it down. It was a full broom handle at one point. Just goes to show, save junk, I don't know, or don't. You can go out and buy a wood dowel, get a 3/4 inch wood dowel, drill a 3/4 inch hole or 7/8 hole. I did an oversized hole. I don't like fighting with it or whatever. This is gonna slide through, no problem. And I'm gonna center this thing. Got 5 1/4 there, 6 1/2 here. So let's try that. Nope, I did it. Yeah, 6 1/4, 6 inches, 6 inches right about. It's close. I'm just gonna run 2 screws through the side to keep this thing from wobbling around. Eyeball it, it's fine. They're 1.5 inch screws, or just under 1.25 inches would be better. I am poking out. I'm gonna have to get different screws. Hope this thing's starting to make sense now. Honestly, this is more for my kids, but I can use it too. It's not quite tall enough, more than likely, to hang a crossbow from, but you can do the same thing, make it taller, and it'll work great for a crossbow. But the idea here is you can hang a bow on the side. This is sitting in the grass. And then while you're shooting, you can just drop your arrows in there like that. And you can have it standing right next to you. And then as you're shooting, your bow, oh, we got it upside down here. What in the world just happened? There we go. As you're shooting, you pull back, you take a shot, grab another arrow, right in the whisker biscuit. That's what it's called. It's a whisker biscuit. I didn't make it up. And snap it in, shoot that, and you're good to go. Go get them out of the target, throw them in there, and then when you go to grab your arrows out of the target, out of the block is what it's called, now your bow is hanging, not laying in the dirt, not making, getting all dirty and whatever. I might dress this up a little bit, maybe do some B-roll. We'll see, but this is a great way. You can throw your arrows in there. They're not laying on the ground. You're not Robin Hooding it over your back. It's just a cheap, easy way. I used less than 2 8-foot 2x4s, some scrap 1x material. This part here, these little things, you could easily do out of 2x4 and they'd be hanging down, they'd be sticking out just a little bit further. Make this stick out a little bit further. However you want to design it, but it's a great simple design. And there's this pocket here because of putting that bottom 2x4 down at the bottom of these 2x4s, that this isn't like falling out. They can get knocked around. They're gonna stay in there and sit like that. A 2-inch hole is great. You can do a bigger hole if you want. You can do a 3-inch, but this works fine. Keeps them grouped nice. They're not bouncing around too much. Set it in the grass, shoot your target. It's awesome. Use some scrap wood. That's what I did. Scrap broom handle that I kept, because for dumb stuff like this, who knows when you might need a dowel, or just go buy a dowel, 3/4 inch dowel. I'm gonna level this thing up. It's a little wobbly, in all honesty. You can see that. I don't want to lie about it. It's wobbly. I got to loosen some of these screws and tweak this just a little bit. Not that hard of a project to get it sitting nice and flat, but this is going to work great for out in the yard. Try it. Use some scrap wood from your house. that you've got laying around, less than 2 2x4s. I'll include dimensions below, or maybe just pop them up on the screen. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but I'll make sure you got the lumber count, some scrap leftover screws, and makes a great way to be out there and just a little bit easier when you're shooting, practicing for bow season. Or just having fun shooting a bow to get good at it. I don't care what you do. You do you. That's stupid. Sorry. I don't know why I said that. Good luck, give it a try. See how it works out. Let me know. I don't even care if it's perfect. Oh, there we go. There we go.